Shove it, man!
Okay, it's the Hawk. If you haven't realised, we're taking a little break from Ring of the Hawk before we start on to Season 3. Ronda Rousey won Season 1, Brock Lesnar won Season 2 for his time in New Japan, and that's on Patreon if you want to check that one out. And in Season 3, we're going to be shining a light on more tag teams. I know people complain I don't do enough of that. Shut up or I'll smack you when it's going to happen. But we still have our C show, which is going as planned. No one sees it. Now, today's video is an important one because it's a Patreon request by Spencer. He's been going through a bit of a tough time lately, so I hope this video could bring you some happiness, Spencer. If you want a grin, sign up on Patreon or I'll boot you in the shin. So what's BRIKKED all about? Well, it's basically Ring of the Hawk, but for people whose run wasn't on the main show. Still 30 or less matches, and we're still looking for people to do the JOB. Because NXT isn't the main show, regardless if you think it's the best show or not, that means it's on BRIKKED. Alright, enough talking. Karrion Kross, I want to use Scarlett Bordeaux's panties as floss. I have no idea what we're going to get here because I stopped watching Impact by the time he showed up in 2018. Around the time of 2020, strange video packages aired on NXT and it was revealed to be Kross and Scarlett debuting. Match 1. Wait, what is this? It's produced like a movie or something. Ugh, and it's the COVID era, so no crowds. I hate this. Well, at least he looks like a killer. Scarlett Bordeaux looks like she's having a seizure. Karrion Kross with Scarlett versus jobber Liam RUFF. He picks up and cripples him with a back suplex straight away. Kross grits his teeth with anger. He says get over here like in Mortal Kombat and he hits another one. Now Kross deadlifts him and puts him in a submission that he calls the Kross Jacket for the tap out win. Nice debut, he looked like a threat. Looking forward to seeing more. It's a C for the debut. Match 2, Karrion Kross with Scarlett, who really loves singing their entrance music, versus Liam. He tries to run at Kross but he's caught and thrown with a T-bone suplex. Nice deadlift Northern Light suplex now, but he isn't done and he turns it straight into the back suplex. Enjoying his suplex game so far. And there's the Kross Jacket submission for another tap out win. It's cool, but not much has really changed in this one. He could have done with really destroying the jobber after the bell. It's another C because I like his presentation. Match 3, NXT TAKEOVER in your house. Karrion Kross with Scarlett Bordeaux versus TOMMASO Ciampa. Ciampa comes straight at him with strikes, but it has no effect. Kross hits a knee in the corner and throws him overhead with a suplex. They fight on the outside where Ciampa smashes him into the steps, which does have an effect. Back in the ring now, Kross goes running, but he's kicked in the face. He no-sells it and shoves Ciampa out the ring. He choke bombs Ciampa on the ring apron, brutal. TOMMASO Ciampa screams in pain as he's thrown overhead with another suplex. And there's another one. Kross is looking like a real killer here and he's enjoying his work. Now he hits a Northern Light suplex and he picks him up and smashes Ciampa with an aggressive clothesline. TOMMASO Ciampa tries to fight back with chops and slaps. Now the match has turned, he hits an Enzuigiri and a knee. Ciampa hits a DDT off the ropes, but to the shock of everyone it's just a 2. Ciampa continues frantically trying to keep him down with knees. Kross with a counter now into a fireman's into a whirly-bird throw. And there's the Kross Jacket. TOMMASO Ciampa won't tap out, but he does pass out. What an excellent match that was, so fun and Kross feels like a dangerous man. Love this one, it's a rare Ring of the Hawk A. Match 4, Karrion Kross with Scarlett versus BRONSON Reed. Oh, I know this guy, he's an Impact now, isn't he? I don't think he's going to be throwing this guy around with suplexes. Reed manages to knock Kross down, which seems to annoy him more than anything. Kross hits a boot in the face. Oh wow, I was wrong, massive overhead suplex from Kross now. Reed isn't done though and he hits a jumping Enzuigiri and a release German. Kross no-sells that and screams at him. Reed keeps trying running charges in the corner, but he's stopped and suplexed again, this time Northern Lights. A back suplex follows and there's the Kross Jacket for another tap out win. Wow, well that's pretty impressive, didn't expect to see him throwing a 400-pounder around. This one's a B, loving that. It was essentially a squash match, but I don't care, it was a good spectacle. Match 5, NXT main event, Karrion Kross with Scarlett Bordeaux versus Dominic Dijakovic. Not looking forward to pronouncing that one, so I'm going to call him Dominic. That's too much for my God's County tongue. A lot of bigger wrestlers in this run, wasn't expecting that. Kross is actually shorter than this guy. They lock up for a bit and they're an equal matchup. They both try big slams now, but neither can manage that. Then Double D hits a big punch to the face, which sends Kross out of the ring. Kross tries to punch him outside the ring, but he hits a plastic shield and then he's kneed in the face. Back in the ring, Kross hits a DDT and grits his teeth with happiness. Kross with the back suplex now. Double D is able to fight off the Kross Jacket and he scores with a right forearm. He now hits a suplex throw. The sit-out chokeslam follows, which Kross kicks out of it too. Wow, Dominic hits a flip plancher to the outside, quite impressive for his size. Kross realises he's losing, so he throws Dominic into the steps. He decides to kick the steps into his head. This knocks out Dominic and Kross wins by countout. Wait, no he doesn't. Actually, he wants to inflict some more damage and he puts Double D back in the ring at the last second. He mounts him and keeps smashing him in the face. The ref starts to worry about Double D. Keith Lee walks out and tells Kross to just get it over with and pin him. Kross won't do it, he keeps the punches coming. Double D partially wakes up somehow and he tells Keith Lee not to get involved. An elbow to the face now, this is really eerie. Double D crawls towards Keith Lee but he doesn't make it and Kross puts on the cross jacket. Man, this guy looks like a vicious killer. He's got a real mean streak. Kross gets the knockout win. I didn't like this match at first, but that ending was pretty epic. It's another A for that intensity. This is excellent so far. Match 6, Karrion Kross with Scarlett Bordeaux. I don't really get the point in her. She's done nothing here but sing along to the entrance music. He takes on Danny Burch. He screams ring the bell and hits a running dropkick. This guy is intense. He hits a headbutt and sends Kross out the ring. Kross takes out his bold brother with a choke bomb on the outside. So now he's dead. Kross with a big exploder suplex in the ring now. Danny Burch isn't dead. He hits a step up enziguri and a dropkick. That doesn't hurt Kross much and he responds with a German. Burch hits a German of his own, but he can't get the free. Danny Burch locks on the crossface now, but Kross powers out of that and connects with the back suplex. Karrion Kross hits another one. The cross jacket then gets the win. The weakest match so far. Wasn't feeling this one, it's a D. After the match, things get a bit weird now as Kross signs a contract and hands it to Keith Lee. When Keith Lee opens it, a fireball hits him in the face. What the hell? Match 7, NXT TAKEOVER 30. I've heard a lot of bad stuff about this match. Will it be 22 minutes of my life that I won't get back? Let's find out. WWE NXT title, the challenger Karrion Kross with Scarlett versus the defending champion Keith Lee. Kross struggles in the early going, he can't take the big man down. Keith Lee hits the running crossbody and Kross bails from the ring. The weakest thing he's done so far in this run. Kross yet again misses his punch on the outside and hits the shield, and Lee stares at him, then he throws him into the glass. Kross keeps working on Keith Lee's arm. Yeah, I can see why people don't like this one, it's not like the others, it's much slower and missing the big moves. Kross spends the first 10 minutes working on Keith Lee's arm. Lee eventually fights him off and hits the powerbomb. Big Keith is back now and he hits a power slam. It goes on for ages yet. Kross eventually gets the cross jacket on and for the first time it doesn't work. Keith Lee makes the ropes. Keith Lee hits a sit-out powerbomb, but there's bad news now as Kross is legitimately injured in his shoulder. Kross toughs it out and climbs to the top rope with Lee. He hits the big back suplex and that's the free. That just didn't feel good. I don't think these two matched up well together. I'm not sure if that ending was called on the audible due to the injury. It's a D because he won a belt and we don't see that often on bricks, but it was pretty boring. Because of the injury, he vacated the title on the next night of NXT, giving him a 4-day title reign. Match 8, 4 months later, Karrion Kross with Scarlett versus jobber Desmond Troy. Kross hits a clothesline in the corner followed by an overhead suplex. The backdrop suplex follows, and then Kross wins by tap out. A nothing match, it was like a re-debut but it was missing any of the allure of his original debut. It's a D. Match 9, DAMIAN PREIST versus Karrion Kross with Scarlett Bordeaux. They immediately fall out the ring and start crashing into the plastic shields. Back in the ring, Kross hits a spine buster. Kross now hits a suplex but he can't get the cover. Karrion Kross wants to use the steel steps as a weapon but it's blocked and they get back in the ring. He starts punching Priest in the gut. DAMIAN PREIST is struggling to even knock this man down. Then he manages it with a flatliner. Knockdowns seem to be like buses. Priest is now knocking him down all over the place. DAMIAN PREIST decides to start working on Kross's arm. He does a hammerlock takedown followed by a submission. Kross powers out of that one. They slug it out for a bit now, then Priest nails a springboard into a cannonball. That doesn't hurt him much, Karrion Kross puts him in the tree of woe and connects the knee in the corner. This leads to a razor's edge from the corner by Priest. He can't get the free on Kross though. This one's a long match. Priest hits a top rope spinning heel kick now. It's not even over after the sit-out chokeslam. How is Kross still going? Kross counters his next move with an overhead suplex. He also hits a powerbomb for a 2 count. Nice moves in this one. They're back fighting on the outside of the ring now. Priest hits some kicks, but his third one is caught and Kross throws him into a pole. They get back in the ring where Kross connects with a back suplex and a running lariat to the back of the head, and that gives him the free. So I guess he's got a new finisher now. It was a good match, but I think the reason Kross isn't feeling like such a big deal anymore is he's been paired off with other invincible type wrestlers. It seems like NXT don't want either man to look weak, and in the process, they both look weak. This one's a C. Match 10, Karrion Kross with Scarlett versus Ashanti Adonis. Thought Ashanti was a girl's name. He tries a punch, but it doesn't work. His dive is then caught and he's suplexed a couple of times. The ref is very concerned, but the match carries on. Another back suplex from Kross now. He then hits that clothesline from behind again, and that's the end of the match. A pointless job match, it's a D. Match 11, Karrion Kross versus Santos Escobar, no DQ match. Kross rushes him in the car park, so that's where we start out. He picks up Escobar and shunts him into a lorry. He then throws him in the back of a lorry, which is a bad choice because Escobar brings the lorry door down on his head. Now Escobar climbs into the lorry and shuts the door. Kross can't get to him, so he rips a piece of the lorry off and he starts hitting it with a pickaxe. This brings Escobar out of the lorry. His friends try to help him, but Kross deals with them pretty easily. Karrion Kross is distracted by the friends and Escobar hits him with a trash can. Now we get a 3-on-1 assault. They eventually carry him into the arena. This image of them carrying him makes him look a bit weak to me. He was unstoppable at the start of this video against far bigger men. Escobar is distracted now and Kross is able to take out his 2 friends. He launches them for a plastic paddle. Nice. Escobar has a chair and that seems to work well for him. He pushes Kross into the steps and smiles with happiness. We're actually in the ring now for the first time in this match. That doesn't last long though, because Escobar wraps him up with a steel chair and pushes Kross into the turnbuckle on the outside. Now Santos Escobar with a DDT on the steel chair. Kross just can't do anything in this one. Escobar hits a suicide dive. Later, Santos Escobar tries to free Amigos, but it's blocked and Kross throws him overhead. He does that again and then he turns his attention to the goons on the outside. He hits a chair big boot on one and he bombs one into the plastic shield. They should both be dead now. Kross connects with a backdrop suplex on Escobar through the announce table. You'd think we'd be done now, but we're not. He hits another back suplex in the ring and then the forearm for behind, and that's the 3. Most enjoyable match in a while, and I enjoyed him taking the goons out. I think he's supposed to be a face now from that match, but it's hard to tell without fans. This one's a B. We haven't heard much from him on the mic so far. I think that was part of his allure, but he does get to speak now. He's a little bit on the bland side, unfortunately. Match 12, NXT Tag Title match. The challengers, Kross with Scarlett, teams up with Finn Balor. They are tag team partners who don't get on. They face the champions, who are 2 bold men called Danny Burch and ONEY LOROCAN. Kross starts this match, he dominates Danny Burch. New move from Karrion Kross now, it's a bear hug. Burch eventually punches his way out of it. Another new move now, it's a scoop slam, going back to basics. He tries a suplex, but ONEY LOROCAN runs into them. Not sure if it was a botch, it looked bad. Moments later, Kross suplexes them both at the same time. He leaves the match during the break and Balor will wrestle now. Something else new in this match is Scarlett taking a bump. Balor hits a running dropkick to one of the bold men, but at the same time Scarlett goes down. This causes Kross to flip out and he smashes Balor into the plastic shields and he puts Balor back in the ring. Larkin hits a running uppercut for the 3. As soon as the bell goes, Kross hits a back suplex on Larkin twice. Then he turns his attention back to Balor. He throws him overhead for a suplex and puts on a submission. Scarlett stops him and gets Balor to his feet. That's just the setup for the Kross clothesline from behind. Nice to see a bit more character work in this one, it's a C. Match 13, Karrion Kross with Scarlett Bordeaux. Man, this filter they're using is not a good look for her. He takes on bold boy ONEY LOROCAN. Why does every wrestler have to be bold nowadays? Not much to say here. He throws LORCAN into a plastic shield. LORCAN tries to respond with a suplex on the outside, which Kross blocks and hits his own suplex. LORCAN spears him into the apron and hits a dropkick in the ring. LORCAN thinks he has a chance until he's smashed with a clothesline. Surprised this one's still going, but it is, and Kross hits a suplex. And another one follows. It's starting to get repetitive. The clothesline from behind ends it. Giving him his first S because I was bored for the first time in this video. Match 14, NXT Stand and Deliver 2021. NXT title, Karrion Kross with Scarlett Bordeaux versus Finn Balor the champion. Kross seems to think he's a gladiator now. Karrion Kross hits the first big move, a throw across the ring. This seems to anchor Balor, who slaps him. Kross gets so angry that he crashes into the ring pole. Balor locks on an armbar, but Kross shows athleticism of his own to transition out of it. He tries to power him up, but Balor reverses that with a jumping armbar, nice. Kross is really struggling now, but Balor has no sympathy and boots him in the ribs. Kross finally does something now and he powers Balor into the corner. Balor reverses it with a final cut. He has an answer for everything Kross tries. Kross is getting frustrated and he powers him up again with a Northern Light suplex and rolls through into a clothesline. Powerbomb from Kross now for a 2 count. Balor counters him again now and does a double leg takedown into a stomp. This guy would have 10 for reversals in SmackDown vs Raw. Now Kross does manage to connect with the back suplex. Finn Balor's back in it now and he's flying everywhere with kicks. He connects with the double foot stomp from the top. No, it's just a 2 count, it's not over, and Kross switches into a submission. Balor rolls out the submission and double stomps him again. This is great, these two have amazing chemistry, it's something that's been missing from the other matches. Kross gets vicious now because he can't get Balor to tap, so he bashes him in the back of the head time and time again. Kross hits a couple of suplexes and it looks like it's almost over. Karrion Kross hits the clothesline from behind, but he doesn't seem interested in trying to pin. Balor gets back up to his feet again and Kross smacks him again, and that is the 3. Nice one, he looked like the old monster from the start of the video and the reversals in this one were great, it's an A. Oh yeah, and a title win always helps, there's no need to yelp. Match 15, Austin Theory of Johnny Gargano versus Karrion Kross with Scarlett Bordeaux. Austin Theory looks so confused. Theory tries to use his speed game and he hits a dropkick. Kross no-sells it and kicks him in the face. Now he throws Theory across the ring. Austin Theory tries a clothesline and that doesn't work for him and then Kross beheads him. Kross with a big punch to the gut and a kick to the head. Theory tries to reach the rope so Kross stamps on his hand. Austin Theory now runs into an overhead suplex. He wants the back suplex, but the ref's distracted and Theory pokes him in the eyelid. They start fighting on the outside, where Theory hits a DDT on the outside. Austin Theory tries desperately to keep Kross down. He's really struggling. Theory hits the Scott Hall special, the sack of shit. Austin Theory doesn't capitalise, and when he turns around, Kross suplexes him a couple of times. He smacks Theory in the back of the head. He doesn't pin him though, and he keeps smacking him in the back of the head. The ref stops the match. Karrion Kross looked a bit weak in this one. He didn't do much until the end. It's a D. Wait, I've noticed that Karrion Kross is still undefeated in singles competition. That's incredibly rare. Match 16, NXT title. The challenger Finn Balor versus the champion Karrion Kross with Scarlett. Kross tries to throw Balor out the ring, but he lands on his feet and comes straight back at him. Kross has to bail from the ring in fear. Karrion Kross fights out of a submission now and uses a scoop slam. Kross seems to be dominating this time around. Balor pulls out one of those typical Balor reversers now and puts on an abdominal stretch accompanied with gut punches. This might be one of the Hawk's special moves. Balor manages a 2 after an ass drop to the back. Kross decides to start crushing his spine in the corner. Big throw now. Balor looks like a rag doll as Kross picks him up and hits a German. He tries a second one which Balor reverses into a crossface. He's quickly out of it though. Love this next bit. It looks like Balor's attempting a pin, but instead he hits double foot stomps. Balor's temporarily distracted by the ref, so Kross smacks him in the ribs. They head out the ring where Balor gets him caught up in the ring apron. When he gets free, Balor kicks him in the face. Later on, Kross shunts Finn Balor into the corner and follows up with a power slam. Scarlett looks like she's wearing a black nappy for this one. Balor with yet another counter now into the final cut. Kross isn't hurt and he gets straight back up and does a lovely smile. Balor doesn't like his smile and double legs into a stomp. Kross grabs his feet though and switches it into a cross jacket submission. Lovely transitions with these moves. He can't get the tap out win and instead starts slamming Balor into the wall outside, and he also bombs him into the barrier. Back at the ring he tries a powerbomb. The king of the counter turns it into a DDT. Finn Balor now connects with a flip plancher. Kross gets straight back up and he simply tosses Balor into the commentary desk. Crowd chant, "This is awesome." As Kross comes back into the ring, gets a Balor double foot stomp. Balor sees his chant, climbs to the top, but he misses his double stomp. Kross picks him up and lightly powers him into the corner, followed by a German. Karrion Kross connects with a back suplex and he starts winding up his arm for his finishing blow, but Balor turns it into a pinning attempt. Beautiful. Kross kicks out. He starts trying punches from behind now, but Balor slips through his legs and gives him a taste of his own medicine. Karrion Kross tries to get advice from Scarlett, which is a bad choice because Balor uses his own submission against him. Balor now transitions from that submission into a triangle choke. Karrion Kross uses the referee to pull himself up and hits a powerbomb. When they get up, Kross hits the smack to the back of the head. He's snapped and he's going berserk. He applies the cross jacket and gets the knockout win. Really enjoyable again, these two are great together, it's another A. Match 17, NXT TAKEOVER in Your House 2021, NXT title 5-way match. The challengers Johnny Gargano, Kyle O'Reilly, Peter Dunne, the Eyeless Warrior Adam Cole, and the champion Karrion Kross with Scarlett. Everyone seems to be scared of Kross as they ignore him and fight each other. He eventually gets hold of Dunne and does a release Northern Light suplex. Kyle O'Reilly gets booted in the face in German suplex. Gargano tries his luck now and he snaps off a head scissors. Kross no-sells that and throws him with a suplex. Adam Cole jumps in with an enziguri, but Kross is just too big for him. He's too big for all these guys. Double Northern Light suplex now, followed by a 2 count on Kyle O'Reilly. Kross does a new move now, a judo throw on his opponent, which seems to wake him up and he beats Kross down with kicks. Everyone starts fighting outside the ring and they team up on Kross. They shove him out the front door. This takes him out of the match for a while. He eventually returns and starts throwing people over the crowd barrier. He hits an apron bomb on Gargano and a suplex over the crowd barrier. Kross is in the ring now for the first time and hits a tornado F5 on Gargano, who kicks out at 2. Lovely new move for him. Moments later, Gargano takes him out of a DDT. He's gone again for a while. He just struggles to get into this match because he keeps getting teamed up on. All 5 men are down after a Kross clothesline. Once Kross is up, he hits a German suplex. Not once, not twice, but thrice. It sure wasn't nice. Surprise, surprise, the cruiserweights all team up on him again with super kicks. He ends up on the ring apron and they powerbomb him onto the commentary table. It doesn't break though. This keeps him out of the match again for a while. He comes back against Dunne, who no-sells his suplex and hits one of his own for the ropes, followed by a pump handle drop. That doesn't get the free and Kross tries to lock on a submission, which Dunne turns into one of his own. The others break up the submission. Everyone seems to be coming close to beating Kross. He's just been a non-factor in this one. Out of nowhere, Kross just randomly lumps on top of Kyle O'Reilly and gets the tap out win. Hated this match. I think he sold way too much for these guys. It's things like this that make it hard to take him seriously anymore. It's a D. Match 18, Special Referee NXT title match. The challenger Johnny Gargano versus the champion Karrion Kross with Scarlett Bordeaux. The special referee is Samoan Joe. This match starts out frantic. Gargano feels like a desperate man. He picks him up and spins him around and throws him overhead. Then Gargano manages to drop kick him out the ring and he keeps the kick coming, followed by a flip over the ring apron. Kross gets straight back up and nails a big boot on the outside. Karrion Kross continues the punishment of a choke bomb into the commentary desk. Why does the table never break like the good old days? Back in the ring, Gargano manages to come back with a spear through the ropes and then a suicide dive. Johnny Gargano's doing great here and he counters a back suplex from the top into a crossbody. It's like Finn Balor all over again. He now turns a power slam into a DDT and gets a 2 count. Kross finally manages to do something now and he connects with a choke slam. He tries the cross jacket which is countered into the cross face. That doesn't work for him though and he has to power him up and attempt the cross jacket again. Gargano makes the ropes. Now Karrion Kross starts falling out with special referee Samoan Joe. He's sweating like he's just done a 10-mile run. Kross gets distracted arguing with Joe and on the outside Gargano dives on him and then he connects with a DDT on the floor. He quickly shoves Kross into the ring and hits another DDT. Thought it was over but it's just a 2. Cool moment now as Kross snaps and hits 3 powerbombs without releasing him and then he switches into the back suplex. This makes Kross smile with happiness and he hits the clothesline to the back of Gargano for the 3. That was a decent one and nice to see him busting out some new moves. This one gets a solid B grade from the Hawk. After this, Kross spent some time on Raw, which in itself would qualify for a Ring of the Hawk episode as he only made 9 appearances. Match 19, final match, NXT title match. The challenger is Samoan Joe and the champion is Karrion Kross with Scarlett. It's good to see Joe having a match on this run. He's getting cheered by the fans, I'm glad they're back too. Joe batters Kross in the corner. Joe with the snap mirror into the chop into the kick. Familiar offense for me. Joe tries to put Kross into a sleeper now, but Kross counters with a back suplex, and there's the Kross clothesline from behind, but Samoan Joe falls out the ring. It's all Kross now, and he hits another back suplex, and then he randomly puts Joe in an ankle lock. Samoa Joe rolls through. Outside the ring now, Joe connects with a suicide dive and pants with exhaustion. Back in the ring, Joe smartly connects with a power slam for a 2 count. Samoan Joe now hits his powerbomb and puts on the crossface. Karrion Kross gets his leg on the rope. It's so weird having the fans back, but it helps me make mind up more about Karrion Kross. Just doesn't seem to be getting much of a reaction from them. Karrion Kross managed to get a 2 count of DDT. Thought Joe was going to no-sell that one. We get a double down now as Joe hits an overhead belly to belly. When they get up, Joe goes on fire and he drops down with a senton for a 2. Then he does another one on the back of Kross. That's like a couple of Toyota Yaris's falling on you. Joe locks on the Kakita clutch, but somehow Kross switches out of it into the cross jacket. Samoan Joe won't quit and he backs Kross into the corner. There's the clothesline now to the back of Joe. Like an idiot, Kross tries to hit another one, but Joe sidesteps this one into the Uranagi. And there's the Muscle Buster to give us game over and bring his run to an end. Can't believe it took 19 matches for him to get pinned. A decent match, but the crowd didn't give a turd about him. It's a C. He continued on Raw for a bit, but for some reason they decided to put him in a mask and give him suspenders. He was turned into a joke and he didn't last much longer on Raw, so it's a Brutus Magnus gimmick, and that didn't exactly work for him either. Both Kross and Scarlett were a part of the big November releases. Mick Foley has since criticised the handling of his character once he got called up to the main roster, and I'm not surprised, he looked like such a geek here. All that's left to do is shove Karrion Kross a final grade for the BRIKKED roster. He started out really nicely, this guy felt like a star, but then his allure seemed to fade. Nothing really changed with him, he was just a bold guy who gritted his teeth and was bigger than most of his opponents. I don't think it helped that his matches became much more even as it went along, but don't get me wrong, there were some really good ones in it. His mic skills weren't the greatest from what I saw, and Scarlett, well, we're not here to grade her, but I just don't get how you have someone who looks like that and do so little with her. Maybe these two would have been a better fit in the Attitude Era. I'm going to give Karrion Kross a final grade of a B. I think based on what I saw he had potential to do more and go further, and if you don't agree with that, it's murder.